Luka to the Lakers, insane trade. People are all saying this is exactly the type of trade where you're like, where was I at in this moment? What was I doing when Luka got traded to the Lakers, AD got traded to the Mavs? But let me break down the Lakers side of things for this. Now, the Lakers, this move is for the future. JJ Redick is your young head coach who's been doing a pretty decent job with the Lakers this season. Defensively, it's been a bad product, but he doesn't have too much to work with, and now he's going to have to, definitely try harder to cook with, the pieces he has right now. Finney-Smith, Vanderbilt's back, but losing Anthony Davis is a huge part in that. This defense will be a lot worse without their anchor, but Luka, 25 years old, took the Mavericks to the finals last year. The 2 seasons that he got help. Took them to the Western Conference Finals. They lost to the Suns. Took them to the NBA Finals last season. They lost to the Celtics. But 25 years old, in the prime of his career, has a great opportunity. You look at the reasons why he got traded. Bad conditioning, couldn't really trust him. The Celtics series kind of exposed some things with, his, ability to handle, the refs calls not going his way, leadership, just some commitment, motivation, all of those aspects. But coming to the Lakers with LeBron James, his favorite player, a guy he models his game after. He speaks so highly of LeBron James, and they have similar, traits in their game. And LeBron James is going to help Luka go to the next level, take his game to the next level as a passer, as a scorer. Defensively, you want Luka to be better defensively? LeBron's going to get him right in that category. You want Luka to take his diet more seriously? You want him to improve his weight, his conditioning, all that? LeBron's going to get him on a regimen. He's going to get him right. In the deal, you get Maxi Kleber and Luka for Max Christie and Anthony Davis. You only give up a 2029 first-round pick. So you still have your 2031 first-round pick. So there's some gray area to add a Miles Turner. That's a perfect center to add for the Lakers. That's the exact center they need to replace AD's production. I know he's not as good as AD, but as a rim protector, he's pretty solid. As a rebounder, he's solid. Better three-point shooter, I think. He's shooting 40% from the three-point line. Really efficient in that category. So he's going to get those open looks. LeBron James and Luka driving. They're going to feed him at the three-point line. He's going to be getting more looks and in that category. And then also a lob threat, pick and roll game. Luka is one of the best pick and roll players in the NBA. So adding Miles Turner to the Lakers will take them to a championship contender for real. I think that's a move that can move the needle for them. Jonas Valanciunas, he's making $9 million, so that's a cheaper option. Really won't take much, maybe just a Gabe Vincent contract. And you could bring him into the mix. That would be a good addition, a good veteran center, post presence. He can knock down a three every now and then. I like the pick and roll, the pick and pop with Luka would look nice. He could give the Lakers what they need, but in terms of being a legitimate contender, Miles Turner is a needle move that they need. It's sad to see Anthony Davis go. It's sad to see, him play for another team and him not finish his career as a Laker. He gave the Lakers a lot. There was some missed opportunity with some injuries he's dealt with, but when he's been out there, when he's healthy, he was probably one of the best options, the best Robin that LeBron James has had. People want to say he was better than LeBron James since he came to LA. I think LeBron James has been better, but just a reliable second option, second Robin, and they've had some good memories together. They've played really well together. The bubble run they went on, Anthony Davis, MVP, like he went crazy at the 4 position, but Rob Pelinka really constructing this team together while Anthony Davis and LeBron James were together, not the best. Other than adding a bunch of old heads, a bunch of unks that one year when they won the bubble, but really hasn't orchestrated a really good roster on these 2 stars. I do give Rob Pelinka credit for making a move for the future and looking towards the future for this Lakers team, because that's his job at the end of the day. LeBron James isn't going to be a Laker forever, and this is the perfect move for the Lakers. Adding somebody that's just going to take over the mantle, that's going to, replace LeBron when he's all done with his career, and him being a player that's this is like a top 3 player in the league. He took his team to the finals at the age of 20, 24, 25. has all NBA. He's first team all NBA every season. Averages 30 points per game in the playoffs. So just working on those things, conditioning, playing better defense, LeBron is going to get him right. So when it's his turn to take over the Lakers are positioned perfectly. And as an NBA viewer, as a fan, definitely sucks seeing this Lakers franchise come back stronger every time. Kobe Bryant, Shaq, LeBron James taking over, the dark years after Kobe. Anthony Davis coming in to play with LeBron James. And then now you get Luka to come into LA. And yeah, I'm not worried about the conditioning and stuff for Luka because he's going to come into LA and this is one of the best markets for a star to be in. He's going to love everything about LA. It's going to motivate him to do what he needs to do, playing in front of those fans, playing in that atmosphere. Anytime the Dallas Mavericks play Luka, 70 points on their fucking head. And this season, this postseason too, I believe Luka's going to be really motivated to show the Mavericks up because it's just a huge slap in the face them trading him. 25 years old, didn't request a trade, didn't indicate he wouldn't, sign an extension with the Mavs. So just a crazy move by that franchise. So we're going to see probably Luka. They said he was 270 pounds. We're going to see Luka in the best shape of his life in this postseason. Him and LeBron James together. I'm not worried about them two playing on the court at the same time, being two ball dominant players. Like, they're going to figure it out. They're two of the smartest basketball players in the NBA. They'll figure it out. The Lakers just need to get a center in the mix. So Luka gives the Lakers a clear, bright future, and he also gives the Lakers an opportunity for him and LeBron James to do something while LeBron's still playing. So Lakers, A+ trade. This is the greatest trade in Lakers history in my mind. For the Dallas Mavericks side of things, it's just crazy. Nico Harrison didn't talk to the owner, didn't talk to Jason Kidd about this move, really didn't talk to anybody but Rob Pelinka, and he made this move in the press conference. He said, hey, it doesn't matter, 10 years down, I'm probably not going to be here. Defense wins championships, all the stuff he was saying. Like, there really wasn't no explanation, no justification for making this move that made sense. Obviously, Luka's not the best defensive player, conditioning, all the concerns that he had. Okay, cool, yeah. You have those concerns, you have those issues. You think Luka can't win a championship because he's not a two-way guy, but you won a championship in Dallas with Dirk Nowitzki. And he's not a great defender. So it's like, this is your organization. That didn't make sense. But you have, like I said, you have these concerns about Luka. You have these feelings about him. The playoffs, the finals, the performance he put up against the Celtics. There was some concerning moments in that series for sure. But why not put out there to every team you're thinking about trading him? You only talked to one team. He only talked to the Lakers. And when he called Rob Pelinka thought he was trolling. So this is just poor GMing, poor decision making. If you're gonna trade Luka, yeah, you need to talk to everybody. You need to field all offers possible because Mikal Bridges went for 5 first-round picks. Rudy Gobert went for 4 first-round picks. De'Aaron Fox, 3 first-round picks. So you could have got way more. You only got 1 first-round pick. Max Christie's a decent player. Anthony Davis is still a really good player, but is he a Luka level player? He's not a top 3 player in the NBA. You need to get Austin Reeves. You need to get Rui Hachimura. That's the type of deal you need to hear. That's like, you need to hear stack of names, stack of players, because Luka, he was your franchise. This is your cornerstone piece. In the postseason, 2024, when he took you to the NBA Finals, he was a leader in points. He was a leader in rebounds. He was a leader in assists. He was a leader in steals. He was a leader in three-pointers. Luka, at the age of 25, 5-time All-Star, 5-time first team All-NBA, Rookie of the Year, 2nd all-time in playoff points per game, 3rd all-time in points per game, 6th all-time in playoff triple-doubles, 7th all-time in triple-doubles. And he was traded for a pick and a 31-year-old. So everybody thought Sham's account got hacked. Everybody thought this trade was not real. That shows you that this trade was stupid. Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie was brought in for Luka. You would think those two guys were going to run it back. They went to the finals together. A lot of these players on this team are on the roster because of Luka. You look at the centers, Lively and Gafford, they're on the roster. They fit with what Luka does as a playmaker, as a creator. Like this team is built around Luka. Jason Kidd, he definitely looked spooked in the conference. Looked like, hey, like I didn't agree with this shit. The ownership, it's sad because Mark Cuban, if he still had some stake in with the Mavericks and some ownership, he wouldn't have signed off for this move. But the GM, it seems like he didn't talk to nobody, so Mark Cuban probably wouldn't have known until it was over. But because Mark Cuban, he said if he had to choose between his wife and keeping Luka, he would be divorcing his wife. If it came down to it. So I know he's probably tripping over this trade. But yeah, Nico Harrison, all-time worst trade that I've seen in NBA history, in sports history. Maybe people are trying to make comparisons what it is like in the NFL. It's just, yeah, this, you don't see shit like this. And the NBA ratings were down, so that it's good for that. Now we're going to see LeBron James and Luka potentially going against the Clippers in a playoff series. That would be fantastic. Just seeing him against the Clippers multiple times a year. We know what he does against the Clippers. Like 30 points per game he averages against the Clippers. He's been dominant against them. He's had their number. In putting up offensive clinics. Excited about that aspect. But this Dallas Mavericks team, while I think this was one of the worst trades in sports history, I think the Dallas Mavericks in the short term are positioned pretty well. They're positioned to win a championship. I wouldn't be surprised if they won a championship in the next 3 years. You have Clay. Pretty good three-point shooter. Whatever you think about him, might be washed, might be cooked. He's still a really good three-point shooter, and that's all he needs to do. Kyrie, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis could play the 4 now with Derek Lively and Gafford, so he's going to be at the position that suits him the best, and we'll see the best version of Anthony Davis. He wanted a center to come to LA. They gave his ass 2 centers, but in a different location. They changed his location. So I think Anthony Davis, though, in Dallas with Jason Kidd, he's going to be the anchor of this defense. Having Gafford, having Lively, 2 really good defenders, and those guys were great in the playoffs. They were eating the glass eaters, getting every rebound. Pivotal for the Mavs' success in the last playoffs. I think Anthony Davis, he could still be a really good scorer. Him and Kyrie will be 1A, 1B. Those guys have experience. They're clutch in the playoffs. They're clutch in the most important moments. So I'm really excited to see this Mavs team. They have a lot of depth. They have high-quality rotational players. Najee Marshall, really good 3-and-D guy. Quentin Grimes is having a good season. 10 points per game. Really good as a defender. Can give you offensive production. Jalen Hardy's still off the bench. Interested to see what his minutes look like now without Luka, one ball handler less. There's a lot of potential to this team. And legacy-wise, imagine these. It's like 3 second options. Three guys that were second options at their old team. Kyrie has been a second option. Now he has a chance to take over this Mavs team. Anthony Davis was a second option. He has a chance to take control over this, be a leader on this team, be a more important role. Klay Thompson is going to be more important now. So I'm interested to see how these guys handle it. And legacy-wise, this is an important postseason for them. This is an important run they could go on. If they win a championship, this is huge for their legacy. Kyrie, I'm excited to see him get the keys to this offense and see him take over. And what he's done in Dallas, Dallas has been a good situation for him. It seems like he's liked playing in Dallas. And Jason Kidd, yeah, I think Jason Kidd's going to cook with this team. I think the Mavs will be a problem for a lot of teams. Houston, Memphis, OKC, these young teams. OKC too, I know OKC is the best team in the NBA, best team in the West. I think Dallas can beat them in a 7-game series. They did, too. But now Anthony Davis, you don't have Luka, who was a defensive liability. You have Anthony Davis out there. Him and Kyrie can both score 30 points per game in a playoff series. And defensively, yeah, they'll handle business against OKC. And they have experience in the finals. They have multiple players that have been in the finals. And with Dallas's, core that they have, PJ Washington, Lively, Gafford, all these guys, they played in the finals last season. So the experience is there. The championship pedigree is there for this team. So, and Denver would probably be the toughest team in the West. A team that's won a championship already together with their core. So that'd be the toughest team. But I think what Minnesota did, how they had success against Denver, Dallas can replicate that with more offensive firepower. They potentially have the towers. the two Twin Towers in Dallas. But better, because Anthony Davis is better than Karl Anthony Towns. Lively, Gafford, I think I would take those guys over Rudy Gobert. But, Naz Reid, better guy off the bench. But I like the pieces, the infrastructure in Dallas better than what Minnesota had. Kyrie's clutch as fuck. Anthony Davis could be dominant offense on the offensive side of the ball. So they have two guys that could score 30 points per game. Minnesota didn't have that. So I'm excited to see Dallas go on this playoff run. I wouldn't be surprised if they won a championship before the Lakers did with Luka and LeBron. I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, in a lot of playoff series, I would take Dallas. Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.